Welcome. Let's get started lying down on our back. As you get yourself settled, wiggling about till you find that comfort, that sense of grounding. Arms can be open beside you, hands can rest on your chest and belly. Find comfort, find the position that feels natural. When you feel ready, let's close the eyes. Begin to pay attention to your breath. Really noticing the air as it moves in and out. Noticing the subtle relaxation that happens with every exhale. Noticing the expansion within with every inhale. Feeling all the subtle movements that happen with every breath. Maintaining this connection with your breath. Letting go of the morning that you've had. Letting go of the day ahead. Allowing yourself to be at ease and be one with your body. And see if you can let your awareness drop out of the head and make its way down into the body. If you find at any point that this connection to your breath gets lost or broken, just begin again by coming back to your breath. Let's take a few more breaths here. Allowing your body to really settle in, allowing your thoughts to settle down. And to feel at ease with your breath. Sometimes the notion is that we have to get rid of our thoughts or make our mind completely blank. But in my experience, I found that to be extremely, extremely difficult. So rather than trying to empty the mind or make it go blank, we rather try and focus its attention on the experience of the breath, the experience of the body. Realizing that the mind is not separate from us, it's not separate from the body, not separate from the breath. And keeping this union of your mind, body, and breath alive throughout the practice, throughout the day, and beyond. And start to bring subtle movements into the fingers and toes, bringing yourself back from stillness and introducing movement into the ankles and wrists. Reaching the arms up overhead as you slide the feet together. Let's take a nice big stretch for the whole body. Take an inhale to reach, exhale to release. From here, we're gonna lift both legs one at a time, bending your knees and planting your feet down on the mat. Reaching the hands beside the body, letting your palms rest on the mat. Touch the heels with your fingers, setting up into bridge, pushing down through your hands and the feet, lifting your seat off the mat and extending your tailbone up and away towards your knees and beyond as you peel your spine off the mat, lifting your chest up into the chin, pushing down through the back of the head and shoulders. And easing your spine back down onto the mat. As your seat touches the mat, lifting the right leg here, rotating the hip externally, placing the shin on the right thigh, flexing your ankle and toes as you lift the left foot off the ground, reaching in between the right leg and grabbing the back of the left leg with your fingers coming together, and then start to pull that left thigh in towards your chest with your right elbow pressing away into the right forearm. To go a little further, you can reach towards the shin and continue pulling in as you press through your right elbow, the forearm. We're really rotating that right hip externally. Both ankle and toes are flexed here. And look to keep your tailbone pressed down onto the mat. Keeping the back of the head and shoulders down as well. Feel that stretch in the right hip, through the glutes, through even the hip flexors perhaps on both legs. Breathing into those muscles that are feeling this stretch. And from here, keep the legs as they are. Just open the arms out into a wide T with your palms facing up. And as you exhale, lower the legs down to the left side so that the bottom of your right foot places itself on the mat. You can continue looking up or look towards your outstretched right hand. And if you like, you can take that left hand, place it on your right thigh, and try to pull that knee towards your left armpit. And then from here, if you like, you can also start to pull the knee away from the armpit. And you're trying to rotate that right hip externally, and you're going to add some counter resistance with your left hand, pulling the knee down towards the armpit while you try to rotate the hip away from that direction. And notice how that starts to bring in perhaps a bit of a deeper stretch through your right hip, maybe even into the psoas muscle, maybe even into the lower back a little bit, depending on where you feel the tightness. And then from here, allow the knee to be pulled towards your armpit one more time. See if it goes a little further than it did before. And let's release that right leg. Now on an inhale, engaging through the core, lifting your legs back to center. Uncross the legs, plant the feet down, hip width distance, arms come back to beside the body, palms on the ground. Setting up for bridge as you push down through your hands and feet, lifting your seat off the mat, extending through your tailbone. If you like, you can roll your shoulders underneath, interlacing the fingers together to lift the chest even higher, and really find that opening through your front body as you lift hips up higher. Keep pushing down through both feet evenly. Feel that length through the back of your neck, extending all the way through to the tailbone. And breathing here into that space. See if you can lift the hips up even higher as you push down through the feet. And then if your fingers are together, begin to release them from here. And as you inhale, releasing your spine and seat onto the mat. Once your seat is down, lifting the left foot, rotate the hip externally. Shin on the right thigh, flexing both ankle and toes as you pick up that foot off the mat. Bringing the fingers together around the back of your thigh. Pressing your left forearm against the hip. Tailbone stays on the mat. And flexing the ankle and toes as you continue to pull the right thigh closer and closer, maybe going towards the shin if you want to go deeper into the stretch. Keeping a nice steady breath here. Using your left elbow to press away the left hip. And let's keep the legs as they are, opening the arms into a wide T, palms face up. With the exhale, lower the legs down over to the right side with the bottom of your left foot coming in contact with the mat. And the right thigh can slide all the way down towards the mat. From here, if you like, you can take that right hand and start by bringing it towards the outer part of the left knee and pull that knee down towards the armpit. Breathing into that stretch. And then from here, you can start to add counter resistance by trying to pull the thigh away from the armpit while using the right hand to continue pulling down. Stay with the breath here. Breathing all the way down into the hip socket. And then releasing the pulling away pressure from your left leg, and then see if you can use that right hand to pull the knee a little closer down towards the armpit. As you release that left leg, on the inhale, pulling your legs back to center, uncross the legs. We're going to plant the feet down at mat width distance, windshield wiper your hips from side to side. And on the internal rotation, try to touch the inner part of the knee as close to the mat as you can get, if it's not all the way down to the mat. And if that stretch feels good, feel free to hang out into that internal rotation for a few moments on either side. And coming back to center. Let's bring the hands towards the back of your thighs one more time. And using your hands, lift the feet off the mat and have the soles of the feet face up. As you come into an active, happy baby, you're going to keep grabbing the back of your thighs and try to push away from your legs. So you're going to try to push your feet up and pull down through the hands and not let your tailbone or the back of the head and shoulders lift off. And try to open your legs out as wide as you can as well. So you're pulling down onto the back of your thighs and trying to press up through the feet. Same time, keeping your thighs out and open as wide as you can. And easing, bring the feet and the knees together, keeping the hands in the back of the thighs, rocking back and forth from here. We're going to start to lift ourselves up off the spine, off the mat. Coming to find stillness in your boat pose, finding Navasana. Lifting up your shins to parallel to the mat, pointing through your toes, extending the arms forward, lift the chest. If you want, you can lift the arms up overhead as well. And then turning to your right side, lightly tap the fingers on the side. Inhale, lift back to center. Exhale to the left. One more time for each side. Inhale and exhale to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. Just for fun, let's do one more. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, come back. Plant the feet down. We're going to flip over onto our hands and knees into tabletop. Spreading your fingers wide, flatten the palms, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, rocking back and forth from here. Stretching into your forearms. And back to center. Exhaling all the air from the body. And then inhaling into your back bend as you arch the low back, draw the belly down, pulling the shoulders back, looking forward or up. And exhale, taking your tailbone down towards the mat, pushing through your hands, rounding into the spine, chin to chest. Inhale to your back bend, waking up your spine and all the muscles alongside it. And exhale. Keeping the pressure in both hands even. Couple more breaths here. And coming back to center. From here, tucking your toes under if they're not already, walking your hands a little bit further ahead. We're going to lift up the hips, coming into a downward facing dog as you push the hips back, press into the hands, moving your chest towards your thighs. Feel free to pedal the feet from here. Reaching the heels down one at a time. Ooh. And just hanging out in the stretch for a little while as well if you like. And finding stillness in your downward dog. Inhale from here, picking up the right leg, and exhale to bend the knees. Swing that leg forward, bringing the foot onto the mat, bringing the fingers together onto your right thigh as you find your way into the lunge. Back knee on the mat, relaxing into the shoulders, sinking low through the hips here. From here, we're going to inhale and lift the left arm up nice and high. Try to get that stretch all through your front body on the left side. Take an inhale to reach the fingers even higher. And at the exhale, pull the arm across the body and press it against the outer part of the right thigh here. We're going to come into a twist with your right hand going around the back to the left hip crest, using that left arm, right leg connection to help you go deeper into the twist. Looking past the right shoulder towards the back of the mat while continuing to drive your hips forward and down. Breathing into this twist here. From here, we're going to release that backhand, bring both palms together, and tucking your back toes, lifting the back knee off the mat. Prayer twist lunge here. From here, option to extend the arms away from each other, right hand going up, left arm going down towards the outer part of your right foot. Bringing both hands together if they're apart from here. And from here, we're going to stay in the twist, but lift up, coming into revolved warrior. Option to bring the back knee down onto the mat here if you like, and extend the arms in opposite directions. So you're in the twist, revolved warrior 2, arms reaching in opposite direction. From here, we're going to drop that right hand towards the back leg. If you can get closer to the calf muscle, that's great. Or you can go towards the thigh, whatever feels good, while the left hand reaches up and further away. If you want to, from here, you can take that back knee off the mat one more time, just a few inches. Let it hover just over the mat. The leg doesn't have to straighten. And if you can use that right hand, left leg connection to help you go further, and lift the chest, reaching with your fingertips up and back. Beautiful. From here, we're going to take that back knee off the mat if it's down. We're going to twist up from here to the front and then open our hips and chest to the side and transition to warrior 2. Ground the back heel and turn your back toes out to the side, heel to mid-arch alignment. Look past the right hand and sink low into that front knee, tracking it over the ankle while you rotate both hips externally. From here, we're going to reach that right hand forward and then bring the elbow down on the inside of your thigh, left hand going up and over for extended side angle pose. Rotating your chest towards the sky, finding your drishti, maybe looking up towards the left hand, and actively using that right hand, right leg connection to help you open while staying strong through that back leg. On the inhale, come back to warrior 2. At the same time, straightening out that front leg, tucking your right hip in, and then reach that right hand forward, setting up for Trikonasana. On the exhale, lower the right hand down, left arm reaching up, shifting your focus to where it feels comfortable, maintaining strength and balance through both legs, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, expanding across your wingspan. Imagine your left hand being pulled up as you inhale, rising up through your torso, stacking your shoulders over the hips. From here, we swing that left hand forward to meet your right as you turn your hips and chest to face to the front of your mat, taking the back heel off the mat. From here, bring the palms together at chest center. And we're going to come into a balancing pose from here. So go ahead and get your core muscles nice and strong. Looking forward, maybe looking down on a spot on the ground that's not moving. We're going to transition, walking that back foot closer, and then lift the foot off the ground. Transitioning to warrior 3. Lifting that leg to be parallel to the ground. You bring your torso and leg at the same height. Chin slightly tucked in towards your throat. Lifting your right hip up, turning your left hip down. So there's balance and a level with your hips. And then bending that back knee and stepping the foot to the top of the mat. We bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart, sinking into the seat. Bring the weight into the heels here as you squeeze your knees together. Extending your tailbone down, pull that low belly in, hands together at chest center. And then from here, we're just going to reach the hands back behind you like the wings of an airplane, thumbs pointing down and fingers reaching straight back. Keeping your lower back exactly as it is from here. Lift the arms up in front of you, arms coming up by the ears or as close as you can get. Draw the shoulders down the back, shifting your gaze forward, maybe slightly up towards your fingertips for 3. Sink the weight into the heels, 2. And 1, exhale, folding forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, 2, plant the palms from here. Transition back, taking your feet towards plank. Flow through chaturanga. You can go into your upward dog, downward dog, however you want to make those transitions. It's totally up to you. Open the chest, roll the shoulders back for the back bend. And then for downward dog, lift the seat, tucking your toes under, looking through your thighs. Fingertips spreading, palms pressing into the mat. Feel your seat lift higher as you pull that low belly in and the chest moves towards your thighs. Inhale, picking up the left leg from here for 3-legged. On the exhale, bend that knee, swing your leg forward, foot planting on the mat between the hands. Back knee comes down, fingers together on the left thigh. low lunge. Nice and easy, coming back to that relaxed, natural breath. Really nice work. From here, we're going to pick up that right hand, reach it high, draw the shoulders down the back, keeping the fingers nice and spread so they're active here. Look to reach the fingers up and breathing space and length into this part of the body, expanding into your chest cavity. Take an inhale, reach the fingers even higher, and then exhale, pull the arm across the body, press it against the left thigh. Begin to twist here, taking that left hand, bring it around the back to your hip crest. As you open up the left shoulder, rotate that shoulder externally, and look past, driving the hips forward. And really feel the strength between the right arm, left leg connection, helping you twist deeper. From here, we bring that left hand, bring the palms together. Option to keep the back knee down or lift it up here if you want to. Prayer twist with a lunge. Like to bring the thumbs closer towards the center of your chest as you rotate the torso to the side. And then option to take the hands in opposite directions. From here, we bring the palms back together. And then bend that back leg. You can lower it all the way down and just keep it hovering over the mat. And we're going to lift up into the torso and open the arms in opposite directions. Revolved warrior 2. Take your time making the transitions. And then from here, lower that left hand towards your calf or thigh, whichever feels more accessible. And then right hand lifts up and back. And really try to extend up into your hips and chest here. So you're looking for space, not compression. So even though that back hand is dropping down, we're still keeping space all through the low back. And then from here, we're gonna lift that back hand up and then twist open, warrior 2. Beautiful work, really nice transitions. Left knee is bent, back leg is straight, toes are pointing out to the side, heel to heel, heel to mid-arch. Look past that front hand. Really nice. Tailbone lifting down, that low belly pulls in, we reach that left hand forward. Elbow comes down, right arm coming up and over. Stay with the lunge in the front leg while you push down through the back foot, finding your point of focus. Keep pressing that arm against your thigh to help open the chest. On the inhale, come back, warrior 2, straighten the front leg. And as you tuck that hip in, reach your left hand forward. Left hand goes down, right arm reaching up. Breathing through the pose. Keeping the sides of your torso long. And then with the inhale, lifting up. Shoulders stacking over hips. We take the back heel off the mat. Both hands come together. Hips and chest turn to face forward. Hands at chest center. Fixing your gaze in front of you. And we walk that back foot closer and lift it up. Warrior 3. Pushing away from that right heel and reaching forward with the top of the head. Leveling up the pelvis. Lifting that leg from the hip. Keeping the knee and the ankle nice and strong here. Chin slightly tucked into the throat. There's length through the back of the neck all the way to that heel. Breathing 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee. Step the foot forward. Big toes together. Heels apart. Sitting into Utkatasana. Chair pose. Straightening up into your lower back. Pulling that low belly in. And then reaching the hands back behind you. Open up the shoulders. Fingers and thumbs stretched apart. And then from here, lifting the arms in front of you, all the way up to the ears as you sink deeper into the chair if you can, breathing here. 3, shifting your gaze. 2, and 1. Nicely done. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release. Plant the palms. From here, let's transition to downward dog. Going at your own pace. And as you come into your downward dog, feel free to find stillness or movement, whichever feels better. Letting this be a restorative pose, letting your breath come back. Bending your knees as you inhale, look forward. Exhale to step or hop your way to the top of the mat. Come up halfway as you inhale. Releasing with the exhale. Press with the feet, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bringing the hands down through chest center. Shake it out. Really nice. How are we doing? Awesome. I could see, I realized today I hit record, but I also didn't change the screen on my end so I can see all of you guys, which is great. I'm happy to be able to see you guys. So I'm gonna have this happy recording of all of us doing yoga together, which is great. Wow, I feel like I'm working really hard today. Awesome. Let's, if you want, you can kind of position yourself on the mat as I am, so you have a bit more space. We're gonna do a little bit of lateral side to side movement. So taking your feet nice and wide. We'll start off with a wide-legged forward bend. Bring the hands onto the hips. Take an inhale to lengthen through your spine. Exhale, hinge from the hips and folding forward. And keep that spine long as much as you can, really hinging from the hip. And then feel free to release the hands down onto the mat. Maybe walking the hands closer to your heels if you want a deeper stretch. Try to bring the weight forward into your toe mounts. Keeping that spine as long as you can. Weight in the toe mounts. And let's bring the hands underneath the face from here. And we're going to bend into the right knee first as you exhale, walking the hands towards the right foot. Inhale to center, exhale to the other side. Go side to side at your own pace. And as you bend into the knee, think about setting your seat back and down as opposed to bending the knee forward. Keeping the straight legs, foot firmly pressed down, so working on your ankle mobility at the same time. Coming back to center. Once you finish up with your left side next. Come back. From here, I'd like you to pull the heels in a little bit so your toes are turned out 45 degrees. And then we're going to rise up from here halfway, pausing for a moment, hands on the inner thighs. And then lift up, shoulders over hips, and settling into our wide-legged squat. So your hips are rotating outward here. The knees and toes are facing in the same direction, and knees are roughly stacking on top of the toes or the ankles as well. Once you're here, see if you can sit a little bit deeper here and really keep the tailbone extending down with your low belly pulled in. You can bring the palms together at chest center. And even though there might not be actual movement happening, I still want you to think about continuing to rotate your hips externally. So even though you're stationary in it from the outside, it might look like you're not moving, but internally you're trying to open up the hips more and more.
And just feeling that stretch really extending into the inner thighs. We're going to hang out here for a little bit, just working on strengthening those postural muscles that respond to this kind of slow endurance type exercise, but at the same time trying to stretch. So we're bearing load on the muscles and stretching them at the same time. Stay with that breath. Sink a little deeper if you can. And continue to open up the hips. Let's be here for another 3. Shoulders down, 2. And 1. Press up through your heels. Come up slowly. Really nice. Let's have your heels turn away one more time. So our feet are parallel, toes facing forward, hands on the hips. Let's go in for a chest opener this time. Bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers together. Take an inhale, open up the chest, extend the hands away from the body. And then exhale to hinge from the hips, folding forward. Try to lift the hands up and away from you. Keep pressing through the outer edges of your feet as you bring the weight forward onto your toe mounts while still keeping the heels in contact with the mat. Releasing the hands, bringing them underneath the face. And this time we'll start with the left. As you exhale, walk the hands towards the left foot and then picking up the toes as an option for the right side. And I want you to plant your left hand right on the inside of your left foot and leg, and then open the chest, reaching up through the right hand. Come back, center, inhale, exhale to the other side, and then add that rotation. And if you want, you can keep the feet planted for that rotation. That feels a little bit more solid and stable. And again, the knee that's bending, you want to send the seat back and down. Keep moving with the breath. Exhale to rotate and open. Inhale to center. Exhale to bend, rotate, open. The next time you finish up from the right side, we'll come back to the center and pause. Pull the heels in one more time, toes turned out 45 degrees. Let's bring the hands onto your inner thighs. Fingers and thumbs pointing down. And then lower the right shoulder down towards the mat, getting into the rhomboid muscle behind you. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop down through the left shoulder. At your own pace, inhale, center, exhale, down. Coming up from the left side, pausing, pressing through your feet and come up. Bring the hands onto your hips, pulling your toes in. And that's a rotate, nice and big circles. Maybe bringing the feet a little closer if you need to get more range of motion through the hips. Going in the opposite direction as well. And then pausing, bring the feet even closer in. Hands just hanging out beside you. We're just gonna get into the lateral part of the torso here. So one at a time, arm goes up, and then you exhale. Inhale to center, exhale over to the other side. Inhale, center, exhale to the side. And if you like, you can also take the other hand and stretch it in front of you towards the opposite side. And coming back to center. From here, we're going to bring the heels in even more. So your toes are turned out 45 degrees. Heels are roughly underneath the shoulders. And we're going to bring the palms together from here and make our way down into Malasana. As you bend the knees, lower your way down into Malasana, coming down with control. Let your arms find the inner thighs, driving your chest forward, keeping your gaze steady, breath is even. Feel free to close the eyes, do some neck rotations here. Going in both directions. And coming back to center, opening the eyes if they're closed. We'll bring the hands behind the body. As you lower the seat down, walk the feet a little wider, windshield wiper. And from here, bringing your legs over to one side, let's have it so that your left shin or your left hip is rotated externally and your right hip is rotated internally. So we're coming into 90-90s, which is both of your legs are bent at about a 90-degree angle. Our weight here is on the left hip, and we're gonna just have the hands offer support beside us, rocking back and forth from here and exploring this range of motion without forcing, without losing the alignment of the spine. So keeping your spine as straight and neutral as you can all the way through. And then coming back to center, let's bring the hands around the bottom of your left foot. You can even interlace the fingers together. Take an inhale. Like to keep your spine long as you inhale, and then exhale to hinge from the hip and bring your chest and chin towards the bottom of that foot. And stretching into the low back, stretching into the glutes. Releasing your foot from here. Inhale to come back. And we'll windshield wiper over to the other side. So bringing your right hip to be rotated externally, left hip rotated down. Hands on either side of the torso or the hips, rocking back and forth. And let's come back to center. Hands around the bottom of the right foot. Inhale, and then exhale. And releasing the foot as you inhale, come back. Coming back to center. And let's windshield wiper one more time for both legs. And transition to Baddha Konasana from here. Soles of the feet come together, hands grabbing the feet and turning them up to face the ceiling. Lifting in the chest and dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Feel free to close the eyes. To come out of Baddha Konasana, releasing the feet, draw the knees back together. We're going to transition so that we can come down to flat on our mat, laying back from here, lifting the feet up, coming to Navasana, pointing your toes, reaching the arms forward, lifting the chest. Find that strength to keep your thighs and your chest nice and close together, maintaining weight on the sit bones. Maybe straightening out the legs a little bit, and then to transition onto your mat from here, choosing your own way down, whichever feels best. As you find yourself supported on the mat one more time, lift the legs into the chest. I'm going to wrap the arms around the shins, tuck into a tight ball, squeezing here. And then resting your head and shoulders on the mat as you open the arms out into a wide T, palms face up. With the exhale, lower the knees down to the right side, finding your drishti. Feel free to take that right hand and apply some downward pressure onto the left leg. You can also cross your legs or straighten one or both legs, whichever feels best. Keeping the back of the shoulders resting on the mat. And breathing into the stretch all through the side body, all through the hips and glutes, wherever you might be feeling it. And with the inhale, lifting your knees back to center. And as you exhale, lower them down on the other side. And then as you switch sides, find what feels best here. On the next breath in, let's lift the knees back to center. Hugging them into the chest once again. Releasing head and shoulders down, lifting the legs up towards the ceiling. Let the arms come to rest beside you. Feel free to transition into shoulder stand from here or any other version of your choice.
Just try to make your way towards Shavasana if you're ready. Taking up space on the mat, finding relaxation, finding grounding, and finding a sense of ease for your body, and a sense of ease for your breath as you feel the heartbeat slow down, releasing the grip of your muscles. Feel the body get heavier as the eyes and the tongue drop back. And soften the space around the eyes and the forehead. Relaxing the jaw. Softening your cheeks and the throat. And feel the arms and shoulders melt down into the mat as you release your spine and low back. Letting go of the hips, back of the knees. And relaxing the ankles and toes. And finding stillness and relaxation in Shavasana. awareness back to your breath. Feeling sensations of breathing throughout your body. Start to move the fingers and toes. And then the ankles and wrists. Back to your breath and body, keeping your movements relaxed, there's no rush, and keeping your awareness with you in this moment. Sliding your feet together, reaching the arms up overhead as you point your fingers and toes in opposite directions. Take an inhale to reach a little further. And exhale to relax. Doing that a couple of times. Take an inhale, reach. Exhale, settle. And from here, placing your preferred head onto your belly, bending your knees and turning over onto your side. Pausing for reflection in your practice. Gratitude to yourself for making it to your mat. Coming up to a comfortable seat when you feel ready. With the eyes closed, the palms together at chest center. Just taking a moment, noticing how it feels to breathe, to be here with your body. And carrying this connection with yourself throughout the day and beyond. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Namaste.